Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Sarah O'Hearn. I'm here for MoneyThink to talk about DecidED, and I'm joined by my colleague, John Tamrat.
Hey, everyone.
John and I are here to talk about how you can get started very easily with your students and your advisors on using DecidED. So on that note, I'm going to switch to a demo view of DecidED web apps, and I'm going to start with the student experience. How do students sign up for DecidED? It's very easy. It's free for all students. You come to our website, which is decided.moneythink.org, and you click this sign up for free button. And when you do that, it will have a standard sign in, login process. And then a student will open to the first view, which is just to add their first school. So the student that I'm showing you today actually already has a few colleges, but I'm going to show you what it's like to search for and add a school. I'm adding San Luis Obispo. And before I've even received my award letter, DecidED gives a lot of information to students about that school. So we do give estimated costs prior to receiving financial aid. We assume in-state tuition, and that's based on the zip code that I've entered as a student. And in addition, we have things like you can search for a major. In this case, the student searched for history. We also show what the top 3 majors are at that school. We show graduation rate and a future earning potential for graduates of this college. And we talk about the diversity and the campus environment in general so that they have an idea of what to expect. And we even show a map for students of how far away is this school? What's it going to be like for me to travel away from home? And finally, we break down the college costs in estimated amounts based on previous year's school provided data. And we include the life budget because we feel like this is an important aspect for budgeting for college in your first year, especially that students who've been living at home may not always anticipate. So now I'm going to show you what it's like for a student who wants to upload their award letter. It's very simple. You can upload a JPEG, a PNG, or a PDF of your award letter. You could do that with a screenshot. You can download a PDF, whatever you have available from the school. And once you upload that, you decide where you're going to live. That helps inform what the cost breakdown is going to turn out to be. So in this case, I'm going to say I'm living on campus. And now DecidED does a little bit of work on the back end to translate this letter automatically. And what we do is we scan the letter not only for grants and scholarships, but we scan it for updated costs, and we scan it for loans and work study. We don't display loans and work study to the student, but we do scan for that information, which can come in handy for advisors and organizations. So after you've uploaded a letter, we just show the student an immediate breakdown right away so that they can assess for themselves if this seems like a correct assessment. And this shows every single grant that was specified in that letter. If they want to, they can look at the award letter and they can see how does this look in relation to that list. And if they think there's a problem, they can tell us and they can report the error. But most of the time we say it looks correct. And now I see in my DecidED dashboard an assessment of how affordable my options are from that college. So in this particular case, DecidED is saying that this is a somewhat affordable college. The student has about $17,000 covered out of the total estimated cost of $30,000. And just to pay the direct expenses of their college bill, they are going to need to come up with over $7,000. And that's why we're saying it's semi-affordable, because DecidED has, if we look at the compare view, you can see that there are colleges that we say are affordable because it's less than $7,000 in direct costs. And then there are colleges that we say are not affordable at all because it's more than $10,000 or $11,000 in direct costs and potential loans. From this compare view, I can favorite the school that I'm interested in. So if I'm looking at these two colleges side by side, they're both considered affordable. One has a much higher graduation rate than the other, but I can also look at the anticipated costs, and I still am going to need to come up with quite a bit of money for this college, whereas for this college, I only need to come up with about $5,000. So I may change my mind at this point and say, I think that's my favorite. what I'm going to show you is that as an advisor, you have direct insight into these updates from the student. I can also drag and drop my list so I can move it in order of affordability or whatever order I as a student am feeling. So now I want to show you what that's like from the advisor's point of view, who's working with this student. So similarly to students, advisors can come to our website and they go to the tab that says advisors and they can log in or sign up for free. And after doing so, the first time that you log in to DecidED, you'll probably see something like this, which is that you don't have any students yet. And there's two different ways that you can invite students. So I'm going to show first option, which is you can invite a student via email. And when you do that, you just decide which group you want to put them in. I'll talk about groups in a moment. And then the other way that you can do this is you can give that student a group code and they can go into their profile and manually add you. And in both cases, the student is opting in to share their data with you. So I'm going to do this group code for the student that I was just working with. So the group code is 09C9J5. I go into my student profile and right down here it says organization info. So I am going to add an organization code or 09C9J5. Let's do that. So now as a student, I see that I'm a member of that organization. And as an advisor, I now have two new students. One is John, who I just invited via email, and the other is Maria Smith, who I just added. She just added the code through her own dashboard. I'm going to switch organizations now. So as an advisor, you can be a member of more than one organization. And the way that you navigate that is you go to your account profile and there's a drop-down list here. And that's how you can see which organization you want to work with. I'm going to go into this organization because this organization already has a longer roster of students. What I want to show here is that there can be a few different profiles for students. So for instance, a student may not have added any colleges yet or searched for any schools as far as you can tell from their DecidED dashboard. On the other hand, a student may have added colleges and added letters. And the way you know they've done that is they have these boxes that have colored fill in them. And you can hover over each box to see the name of the college. If the college has a white box, that means they haven't uploaded a letter yet. And then finally, if it's a student like this where the boxes are blue, those are students who are not Pell eligible. And the reason why we're calling that blue is because for non-Pell eligible students, we are not currently giving an affordability assessment. We don't know what the EFC is for those students, so we don't necessarily feel like we can advise them clearly on affordability. But let's look at Maria, who is the student that we were just looking at her profile. And now as an advisor, I can see that Maria has favorited the University of Wisconsin, that she has 4 different schools. I can see what the order is of those schools, and I can scroll through them and see what options she's received in terms of financial aid, how much has she covered. And I can also scroll down and like Maria, I can compare them side by side for things like graduation rate. I can compare the majors, if she selected any. I can compare the future earnings, the diversity of the campus. And finally, I can look at the estimated cost side by side. And this can be really helpful when you're in a meeting with the student. You can help them see how easy it is to compare these things. Additionally, I can look at the final assessment of how much is she still owing. And that's why we leave out work study and loans, because that's not guaranteed money. So we only show the guaranteed money, which are grants and scholarships. And that shows, in this case, how much Maria would have to come up with to fill the gap. Finally, I can actually download the letter that Maria uploaded. So if I have doubts about something that I see here on the dashboard, I can download that letter and I can open it and compare it to what I see and DecidED and talk to the student about where I see other information in the letter. So finally, when I'm working with students, there's different options here on the dashboard on how to sort this list, how to filter this list. You can sort by name. You can also sort by how recently the student has been engaging. So if they haven't been on DecidED for a while or haven't yet engaged, I can see that. I can filter it and say, I just want to look at what's going on with my first period students. Or I can remove that filter and I can say, I just want to look at the students who are looking at the not affordable option. So I can make sure to talk to them about what that means. So all of those are different ways that you can, customize the experience so that you can be more efficient and save time. Additionally, you can send students notifications directly from within DecidED. So if I wanted to message all 4 of these students, because I filtered the list, I can do that by just clicking this box. Or let's say I just want to message Maria, and I can just say something like, wasn't there a 5th award letter that you received? Now, when I send that message to Maria, she's going to receive an email from DecidED saying that your advisor sent you a message, but also here on her dashboard, she'll get a notification. I have a new message saying, isn't there a 5th letter? So that's how quickly you can notify them. There are additional features that we're going to talk about in the next session, and some of those are how to manage student groups. You saw here that I have 2 groups, first period students and MoneyThink staff. How to make notes about your students. So when you look at that detailed view, you can actually write and save notes about the student. And finally, how to download reports and reports that you can work with to analyze the data that you're getting from students and their award letters.